So you spend your hard-earned cash on a nice audio interface and you spend your hard-earned cash on some nice music gear. Do you really need to spend more of your hard-earned cash on a DAW? Let's talk about it. You've probably heard of Audacity. It's a freeware DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation, and it's been available for almost 20 years now. It's usually most people's first or only recording software. Audacity has probably been there for you in your time of need. Maybe you're in that stage of life right now. So if Audacity is free, why spend your money on any recording software? You can spend your money on way better. Well, the first question to ask is, what are your recording goals? What do you want out of a DAW? Are you a recording musician? Do you want to record bands? Do you want to do voiceovers? Do you want to make fat beats? Maybe you don't have any interest in recording at all and you want just some sort of software that can edit audio that you already have that's been recorded, or you've been tasked to work with something and you need to fix the audio and you need to remove some unwanted noise. Maybe you've got a song and you want to remix it. Whatever the case may be, it's usually possible to meet your goals using Audacity. So I guess the short answer to this video would be, yes, it is fit for a pro. That was a really short video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You want some more? Okay. While Audacity does have some full-fledged DAW features, you kind of have to work for it. What does that mean? Well, let's take Logic Pro 10 for example. This is the DAW that I use. When you open it up, you're met with a nice welcome screen that kind of holds your hand through the recording setup process, so you can start recording as soon as possible. If I want to start from scratch, I can go ahead and do that. If I want to open up my virtual mixing board, I can just click this little icon right here with faders on it, and there's my virtual mixing board. If I want to set the metronome, I can just go right over here and I can drag this up and down and I can keep a tempo and have the metronome go along with it. I can see the time signature and the key of the song. I've got my guitar plugged into an interface. I've got the interface plugged into my computer, and you can go ahead and hear the guitar kind of just going right through the interface by itself. Then I can just click right here. I can go to amps and pedals. I can go to amp designer. Guess what? I've got a virtual amp. I can go ahead and choose different types of amps. So this is all relatively simple and easy for me to do, and everything kind of looks really nice. I've got nice little icons and little pictures, and this interface right here looks really cool. And this all comes with Logic, so this all comes with the software. I didn't have to purchase anything extra, though I am able to purchase extra plugins, which is what this thing is right here called. This software right here is called, would be considered a plugin. You can purchase extra plugins like this, and I can also use them in this recording software. Now let's open up Audacity. What do? There's no little icons of guitars or microphones or faders. Someone help me. Okay, so it's not the prettiest looking interface in the world, but rest assured that a lot of the features that we saw laid out in front of us on Logic are here. They're just kind of hidden. Now, usually you'd actually see the menu up here. The software that I'm using to record the screen is kind of hiding it, but if you click View, which is going to be this one right here, you can see Mixer Board. And that's going to be your virtual mixing board. Now, it's grayed out right now because you do have to have a track on here to see that, and let's go ahead and do that. That's right over here. Add New, Mono Track, and just kind of guessing where this is. There you go, mixer board. You can go ahead and see it. And there's a little mixing board right here. Now again, it's not as pretty, or there's not as many features and buttons and things here like there was in Logic, but you get some kind of outline of what I had. On Logic, I can go ahead and just click track, and it will play a click track in the background while I'm recording. For Audacity, it's a little bit different. You have to go to here to whatever this menu is, and you have to click rhythm track. Now, when you do a rhythm track, it allows you to set your parameters for what you would like your click track to sound like. So, for example, your tempo and the number of bars and things like that. Then you hit OK, and what it's going to do is it's going to create a track for you which has clicks in it. So if I play this, And you can kind of play with this alongside your track and then just delete it at the end when you output your final track. Now on Logic, I'm able to tune my guitar, so I can plug a bass or guitar in, click on the little tuning fork, and it gives me a virtual tuner. On Audacity, there is nothing built in, but you're able to download a plugin that you can use in here that's a tuner, so you can get a workaround that way. If you look right here, there's quite an extensive list of different preset effects that you can use within the software without having to download anything. Add or remove plugins, so if there are things that work with Audacity online, you can download them and easily have them added to this list. I lost that list for a second, but here it is. So you can see that I can get a lot of the features that I have in my paid, more expensive software, but it's just a little bit hidden and you have to get used to this interface a little bit more in order to bring them out. Now let's take a look at what Audacity can't do. Remember earlier when I said you have to ask yourself what your recording goals are? Well, in that part, I mentioned making fat beats. In order to do that, in most situations, you're going to need to use virtual instruments, so you're probably going to need something called MIDI support. If you want me to dive deeper into what MIDI is or what it's used for, comment down below and I'll try to make a video. But what you need to know is that Audacity, as of right now, does not have MIDI support. So if you've got some sort of virtual instrument or keyboard or some pad or something that is MIDI only, that you have to hook up to a MIDI interface, you wouldn't be able to open that up in Audacity and actually be able to use the MIDI interface. But Audacity might be working on that right now, so maybe in a future update we might see MIDI support, but as of this date, which I'm going to write on the screen, there is no MIDI support on Audacity. So if you want to be a beat master or beat king, you're probably better off using Propellerhead or Cubase or FL Studio. Unfortunately, all of these are paid software. Now let's talk about plugins. If you record at all, eventually you're going to want to experiment with plugins that you purchase separately. So you go online and you download plugins that you might like and you pay for them and you have some licensing and you're able to install the plugins in a DAW so that you can use it within your software. There's plugins for plenty of different types of things, such as virtual amps, virtual instruments, drums, piano, whatever you can think of. There's plugins for effects, delays, compressors, distortion, all that kind of stuff. You can get plugins for EQ. You can go crazy. People spend so much money on plugins. It's insane, and they're all really, really neat. They're awesome. So at one point or another, you're going to want to work with plugins. Now, while Audacity does allow for some basic plugins, it doesn't allow for most type of plugins that you're going to use on DAWs. So virtual amps, which are generally VSTs or software just like that, it's not going to work in Audacity. So trying to use Audacity as a virtual amp would not be as easy as firing up another recording software and using it there. Depending on who you are or what your goals are, this could render the software unusable. But if you're able to get around these things, or you really don't see a need for any of the higher end features of a DAW, Audacity will suit your needs just fine, and they're going to continue to make improvements. Audacity does get regular updates all the time, so there's a chance that something that you don't see right now might come in a future update, and you're able to even contact them, I believe, and just suggest something that you might like to see. What if you're in that boat where Audacity just isn't going to cut it? Well, unfortunately, you're probably going to have to shell out some cash on a decent DAW. The good news is there is hope. Reaper, a DAW made by a company called Cocos. It's a full-featured DAW for only $60. That is unless you have a music studio that makes over $20,000 a year, in which case share the wealth. But a fully operational DAW for the price of a video game, that's an awesome deal. Most of the gear that you're going to get in your life is not going to cost as little as this invaluable software. And by the way, it works both with Windows and Mac. So while Audacity does have a lot of really great features for the best price in the world, free, it doesn't do every single thing a paid DAW can do. So you might have to invest in a decent DAW and learn how to use it, but that doesn't mean that you should totally dismiss Audacity. It's really, really nice to be able to just lay out a quick track if that's all you've got. If you're at someone's house, or if you're in just some studio somewhere and some of their software doesn't work and all you can use is Audacity, it's really nice to get through a recording in a pinch And then for some of the higher end stuff that you'll need later, you can just save all those files and then drag them over to a professional DAW. Audacity lives on most all the computers that I have in my house. I even have it on my work computer. It doesn't hurt to have on your computer because it also doesn't take very much space. Personally, I use Logic Pro 10. And the reason that I use that is because I use Apple computers, and Apple making the software and the hardware makes it very well optimized. So for me, it's just really easy to use. I like the price. It's easy for me to swallow the price of Logic Pro versus some of the other more popular or as popular software. And it suits my needs very well. While we're on the topic of Apple computers, something I totally forgot about that I should definitely mention in this video is Garageband. This is software that comes with all Apple computers, and it's free, and it works just like Logic. In fact, if you look here, it looks almost exactly like the interface for Logic Pro. And when I have tracks created, you can see that I kind of have very easy access to things like I do in Logic Pro. So this is actually a really good alternative to having any recording software that you have to pay for. The only downside is that you are required to have an Apple computer, and they are not cheap. So if you're looking to keep a low-cost, low-budget option, then spending that much money on a computer in the first place isn't really going to be very cost-effective. So the software might not be attainable, but if you happen to have Apple computers, this is something that you just will happen to have as well. There's plenty of software out there that costs more, that does just as much. Maybe it does other things. There's software that costs less and it does just as much. So there is something out there for everyone. What about you guys? Do you use Audacity for professional uses? Do you find yourself using Audacity more than the pro DAWs? If not, what DAW do you use and why? Comment that down below. So that's it for now. If you guys want me to put up more content like this, let me know. I'm probably going to be working on some more actual playing stuff so you guys can hear that and some people can comment on that because I love that. So everybody stay safe and stay rockin', and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.